Can you break down the difference between the psyche of black women who have successful marriages and those who cannot maintain a healthy relationship?
I would sum that up in one word, which is ego. I think that to have a successful relationship, you cannot have an ego, right? Because relationships are hard and it requires you to sometimes do things that you may not want to do to conform to certain things you may not want to do, but it's for the betterment of your relationship and your family. Compromise is a big key to a successful relationship. I'm gonna say marriage, to a successful marriage. These new modern women, those are the people that I speak to, because women my age and a little bit older, we kind of get it. It's these new women. They want to be unruly. They want to do what they want to do. They want to exhibit this bad behavior, twerking everywhere, walking out half dressed, talking how they want to talk, being how they want to be, with no repercussions and nobody to answer to. So the psyche is the ego. If they can tone down and understand that when you're in a relationship with a man and he loves you, he wants the best for you, that you can learn something from your husband. Your husband is supposed to teach you things. Your husband is supposed to guide you. So they don't have the mindset to be able to accept that, because they feel that submission is a horrible word. That submission means that you're somebody's lapdog. That submission means that you don't have a voice. And so once they can get past that, the all about me mindset, and get into the us mindset.
Facts. That's all I can say. Facts. She's speaking so much facts right now. And you know, men are simple, man. We simple. We don't look for too much. You know, when we love somebody, we love. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even if we can't, you know, we'll kill ourselves trying to take care of our family. Well, you know what I'm saying? Most men, or the good men. You know what I'm saying? I can't speak for everybody, because there's some guys out there who don't think about that stuff. But the ones who do care about their families, about their kids, and stuff like that, like, we don't want to. One thing men looks for is respect in their partner, and they just want their partner to think about them in any situation. You know what I'm saying? I just did a video about a female who was married, and this guy stepped up to her and asked her if she's happily married, and she was like, no. And she was like, even if I'm not happily married, what does that have to do with you getting a chance with me? You know what I'm saying? And I respected that. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of women, they don't respect the relationship in certain aspects of it, and they think, like, because they feel whatever they feel, sometimes we give up a lot of things, man, as men. You know what I'm saying? We give up a lot of things just to avoid the drama, like, and they don't care, because it's sometimes all about them. They want to control everything. They want to make sure what they do is what makes them feel good. If they feel good, they think it's okay, you know. But compromise is a tough thing, man. Relationships are hard to manage, and to keep going. It's hard. Else, if that was the case, everybody would be in relationships. But things have changed, especially now. So let's continue.
And they're gonna stay single forever.
I, I'm glad you're on here as a female, because we have this conversation amongst men. And based on my observation, right, I'm not no marriage guru, but I have a good marriage, a very good marriage. I've been married for over a decade. And what I notice with women is that you see when they're doing what they want to do for that duration of time, they don't learn the skills that are needed for a healthy relationship. So when they get all burnt out now and they want the healthy relationship or they want a long-term relationship, they don't have the skill set to do so. And I think that's the part they're not understanding. They feel they can do whatever for this duration of time. It's going to flip a switch and they're going to be in a situation. And I think that's where they're really dropping the ball because they want the relationship down the road, but they don't have what it takes, or even looks decline. You get what I'm saying?
Women age like milk, right? And men age like wine. That's just the way that it is, right? So you can't be out here demanding certain things at 50 that you want now that you don't want to be a whore no more that you did when you was 25. It just don't work that way because the level of men changes, the quality of men changes at that point. People aren't going to do certain things for you that they would have done when you were a little bit more attractive versus when you got with him when you was 25 and you grew old together. It's different. He love you now. But you can't walk in the door 50 talking about, here I am, I'm ready. Just like, what was it? Taraji P. Henson. At one point, she was like, I'm single. I don't need a man, independent this. Then now she's screaming, black men, we need you. Get out of here because you finished whoring around now. Nobody want that, right? Like, and they're so set in their ways. Will you be able to conform to what it takes to be in a relationship now?
They can't. It's so hard for them to conform because they're so used to the things that they did, and no one did. That's the part of that discipline as well. Like, they can't conform. It's too hard. You know what I'm saying? They're stuck in their ways. They don't lose. They don't realize like everybody's different. You may have been with one guy who was this type of way. This other guy over here is different. He don't want to deal with the things that you dealt with in your past. He don't even want to hear about your past. So that's that's they don't get it, man. They don't get it.
The question, because these new women, they don't cook, they don't clean, they don't do nothing. They just want to, put their lashes on, get them lace fronts, look fly, do all of that stuff, but they know nothing about keeping a home. They know nothing about rearing children outside of dressing them up cute and putting them on Instagram dancing. Like, what do you know about being a mother? And it goes back to these independent women from the 80s and the 90s that did not teach their daughters how to be wives. We are the only culture that does not teach our daughters to be wives. We teach our daughters to be independent women. We teach them how to be boss chicks. We teach them how to be everything else but a wife and a mother. And there's a balance. You could do both. I do it. You could do both.
I have a question, right?
Yeah, before we continue, the thing is, you got to look at your family dynamics and I looked at how my family was structured. How did I grow up? I look at the things I didn't like. I looked at the things that I liked. And I do realize when I met my wife, I knew that we would be different. We'll have different things that we grew up with, different morals, different values. And you want to come together and kind of put it in a package deal. So when you teach your kids, it's a team effort, right? And but a lot of people, I don't think they look at where they come from. A lot of people think that it's normal to see the things that they've seen when it's not. It's not for everybody. Like, I've seen successful marriages, even if it wasn't perfect. You know what I'm saying? They stuck it out. That was in the past. Now, there's some marriages that are made.
Well,
Like I was saying,
do you think there are enough men for women? I know statistically not, and I want to put this in context. I'm not talking about just numbers. I'm talking about people that are compatible for each other. Do you think there are enough compatible mates for each other, despite the disparity in men versus women numbers?
Absolutely. I think if people get off the bull crap, right? There's absolutely enough, because let's be clear, everybody ain't straight, right? So you got some women in there that don't even want a man, right? But then you have the ones that do want to be in a heterosexual relationship, and there is. I am not saying, and this is where I think people get me wrong, I am not saying men are perfect at all. Like I said, I done kissed some frogs, I done had some things, so I get it, right? But what I am saying is that for women, we need to take accountability for how we act in relationships, how we present ourselves to the world, why men are upset with us. We don't want to just look internally and say, I just can't, when I get mad at my man, call him the B word. Like, who does that? Who stands toe to toe with a man like another dude in the street ready to fight? Right? So if we can learn to behave and get in order, there's absolutely enough people that are compatible to be with each other. That's the way the Most High made it.
Can you talk about the danger?
Yo, that's one of the hardest things for some women. I would say most women, because it's like a norm. Like, you have very few women who will hesitate or like just not, challenge their man and stuff. But you have a lot of women who would say things like, "I get it, you're upset," and but sometimes what makes it worse is when it's like a regular conversation and they just say something that's just so disrespectful. Like, that's the worst part for me. I hate that. Like, I get it if you're upset and me and you have an argument, and at that point you're just lashing out. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that it's okay. I prefer not to, go through that. But as long as, to me, it's all about trying, like finding a common ground. At some point in life, you want to get past all the BS, because who wants to be arguing all their life? When does it get better? You know what I'm saying? At some point, there has to be a line that's drawn where you like, I'm too old for this BS, man. We need to do better. We need to learn to compromise. Like, it'll be crazy going through that all your life. To me, the arguments should become less and less. You know what I'm saying? To me, that's progress. If that's not happening, something's wrong.
Of single people being the voice for Black relationships and the Black family?
Let's start with Oprah, right? Like, Oprah has had that man for how many years? He just been in the background benefiting off of whatever it is she has. She doesn't have any children, but yet and still people run to Oprah to listen to Oprah's advice on relationships. The dangers of it is like the blind leading the blind. What the heck can somebody tell you about something that they have never experienced before? This is like me trying to do a surgery and I ain't never been to school for it, and you just gonna trust me to open up your brain and just start going in there doing surgery. It'd be ridiculous and stupid. And people that listen to people that have no experience shows the lack of intelligence, because how can I say it? I think that people think if they read books, right, and see, I'm not a book person. I'm a life person, right? You can't read a book and tell me nothing about myself. This is kind of why I have a problem with, I love therapy, and I think therapy is a good thing because it helps people. I've actually done it. But then I do have a problem with my therapist at times, because you have not walked in my shoes. You only read these things in books. So I think people think that when they read books, it gives them the knowledge to be able to direct your life or give you guidance. Nah,
Yeah, man. Listen, I have nothing against reading books. You know what I'm saying? And there's some things are just logical, like, and it's back to where she mentioned the ego. The ego plays a big part in when people decide to compromise or not. You know, and you gotta be humble, man. Like, you gotta think of what you want out of the relationship. Do you want to argue all the time? Or do you want to keep life simple? Like, I get it. You feel like what you're doing is okay. Maybe for you it is, but you're not single. If that's the case, then go be by yourself. You know what I'm saying? Go be by yourself. Do you? If not, then you have somebody else in your life that's part of you. You know, you became one when you got married. Like, so you can't make decisions and think like everything you decide is okay and your partner have no say. That's crazy. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And yes, your man leads. But if your man is a humble man, he's not gonna take advantage of you, control you, or try to control you. Like, and then that's all about getting to know the person you're with. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes I think women don't listen, and that's just me. I don't dislike women. I love you. I love you guys, but sometimes I don't think you guys listen to the men. Men say what they mean and they mean what they say. And it goes through the air and comes out the next. Or you just don't care about nobody else but you. You're selfish, you're egotistical, it's all about you. Then you could have chose a different path. That's the way I look at it. But since you're here, if you're gonna stay here, like, let's work together. Let's make this thing happen. You know what I'm saying?
That's not how that works. You have to live and learn so that I understand that you know what I'm going through. If I'm telling you that my husband is saying XYZ to me and it makes me feel this way, how do you relate to me? With something from a book? So, but I think that these people have been put in the forefront, these single folks, because again, it perpetuates that whole systematic breakdown of the Black nuclear family. And that is what it is, because there are hundreds of happily married men and women who are therapists or who are relationship coaches. We don't see them.
And we don't want to hear from them too. This is the thing. We don't want to hear from them because when they talk, they're going to give you something that is going to hold you accountable and you're going to have to work at. Mm-hmm. This other set for entertainment is just complaining. And there's no follow up to it. It's just a complaint. There's no work. There's nothing to improve on. It's like a complaint, and you go about your day. Mm-hmm. Listening to them, you can tell that they're not in a relationship, or they haven't been in a relationship for any period of time, and also they're very immature in regards to how they break down the dynamics of a relationship. But I equate that to church, because a church where a pastor actually, I'm not a church person, but if you have a church where a pastor actually teaches, it's going to be empty. If you have a church where it's just screaming and shouting, it's going to be packed.
Yeah, we want to be entertained. We definitely want to be entertained. I watched this video the other day, and it's similar to the question you just asked about, single people and whatever. So this guy said he's been married for 20 years, and before he got married, he asked his fiance, he said, hey, when you get into an argument, if we get into an argument and you get mad, who are the first 5 people you gonna call? And she named the people that she would call. So then he said, these are, and he asked her, well, why would you call them? And then she said, because, they'll give me good advice or whatever. So then he said, well, these are the 5 people that I'm gonna call. And she said, why? He said, because they are going to tell me all of the good things about you and why I need to stay with you, versus the people who you're gonna call that are going to be telling you why you need to leave me and that sort of thing. So we need to make an agreement that you have 5 people that you call that will talk sense into you, that like me, and I will do the same thing for you. So then that way.
Yeah, I think I saw that video, and I commend that. And I feel like when it comes to most men, if you're around men that are married and they know what marriage is all about, they're gonna typically encourage you and try to get you on track. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna try to advise you to don't give up and work towards your marriage. And in a lot of cases, I ain't gonna lie, women be talking some trash, man, especially if they're not married. And more, a lot of you have so many single females out there that, especially the single ones, they'll definitely give you. They won't tell you anything good. Most of them. I've never seen. I've always mostly heard negative things coming from females, especially the ones that are single. You know what I'm saying? And that's sad because they'll rather see you break up and start another relationship and continue that trend because they think that's okay. You know what I'm saying? And they don't realize what that looks like. People, a lot of people claim they want to be single, but I think deep down inside, they don't. But they just don't want to work towards that. They don't want to give up what they're accustomed to. They want to be comfortable and do what they want, and that's not relation. That's not marriage. That's not how it is supposed to work. You know what I'm saying? So let's continue.
Or help us stay together, because the people she wanted to call were single people, who aren't in relationships, and it would destroy his marriage. So, but I thought that was really cool. A cool thing I never even thought of that, because you just call the first person and then you just want somebody to co-sign with what you feel. And he's basically saying, nah, call somebody that's gonna go against what you feel and tell you the right thing. And I dug that.
Do you feel, not in like an absolute vibe, but do you think married people should hang around single people? In regards to not like a segregation vibe, but I mean like a close knit group. Should you hang around single people? I want to hear what you have to say about it.
Kind of, sort of, right? Because you can't, it depends, right? It depends on the single person, right? Now, if I have a single friend, she just out here popping that thing all over town and want me to go with her, no, I'm not going, I can't, I can't do that. But if you have single friends who respect your marriage, respect you, and they also want the same thing, but they just haven't gotten it yet, I don't see anything wrong with like hanging out with them in situations that are appropriate. Like, yeah, we can go to brunch. We can go to the movies, but we're not going to take no girls trips because you're going to be bringing people in the room humping and doing whatever you want. And I'm married and I shouldn't be around that, So I think within reason, because yeah, I don't see anything wrong with that.
Do you think majority?
I personally think that with all the boundaries that she just mentioned and the standard that she just mentioned, I agree with her 100%. Now, if we're talking about being examples to the younger women and stuff like that, I feel like in order for the younger women, the single ones, to have an example that they can look at, I feel like yes, you should have married women because they'll be like mentors in a sense. That's usually what you get in a church setting where you have the young females looking up to the older females who are married, and they look at their relationship and they value it, and they look at it and they cherish it, like they look at it like, yeah, that's what I want, even though the truth is you don't want to compare your marriage or your relationship to no one else's, but you want an example that you feel is good enough for you to. You can take the good that you see and mold it into what you want for your marriage, and you can set it can be a standard, like it can begin right here, and then we can work towards you know a better relationship, because at the end of the day, that's the goal. You want to be happy, you want to enjoy your spouse, enjoy the time you have with your spouse, enjoy the relationship, and avoid as much arguments as possible. You want somebody compatible with you. So yeah, I think it's good as long as there are boundaries that are set, like she kind of mentioned.
Majority of women are happy for their friends' marriage, or are they jealous?
No, no, they not. That's why they try to get in your ear every chance you get. They get. Are you kidding me? They want what you have. Now, if you ask me about having a lot of girlfriends as a woman, I'd say no, right? Like, I don't think it's wrong for people to hang out. That's just not my thing. I don't trust women. I don't trust single women around my man, my house, or anything. Because given the opportunity, they're looking in a window and they're seeing your happiness or what you're letting them know, and they want that. They want to test it. I do not trust women as far as I can throw them.
So what's up with the sister?
Yeah, that's one thing I've noticed in my lifetime growing up. A lot of females don't really get along with females too well, or a lot of females, and that's one thing you may notice. Because I think that's like a regular thing. Like you'll see a few females that hang out together, but a lot of times these chicks on this side is watching the chicks on that side. It's always some type of drama, that goes along with it, and it's like it's crazy. Like, why can't like if you look at men, men typically get along with men because we're not about that drama. Like, we're simple guys. We if there's something going on where there's some type of drama, that's not usually the case. That's not a normal thing. It's got to be bigger than. It got to be some special situation that happens. But when it comes to females, it's a totally different ball game, totally different story. Let's continue.
That's why I'm laughing, because I always hear about the sisterhood. I see
Ain't no sisterhood. That old fake sisterhood. Yeah, go ahead.
I know it's fake still, but I just wanted you to elaborate.
Please, they could miss me with that. I do not buy into that whatsoever. This is how I'm able to keep my relationships tight and
Right.
and strong, because I do not allow, like, you ain't spending the, girl, don't drink too much because you can't stay the night here. We're gonna get you an Uber.
Right.
My husband, he don't need to be down here. He said hi as he went up to the room. You don't need to be around my man. I do not do that. I do not play that game. You talking to him, what we talking about? I want to hear what happened. I'm not doing that. I don't trust women. That sisterhood is a way for them to get in and get your man. Please. Crazy.
Go on.
So, I just want to touch on one more thing on this before we move to the next question. So, I just want to be clear. You see it as a red flag if a woman has a lot of girlfriends?
Yep, because those are her people. Those are the people that's in her ear. You know what I'm saying? And if you have one of your girlfriends have an unhappy relationship, but you good, she won't poison that. That is just what women.
Yeah, man. That like I say, they women look at everything. They look at everything. Like, hey, man. Oh man. You know, if we aren't careful as men, and if our wives, partners don't, if you're not careful, like, your relationship can be tarnished by a friend of your wife. I mean, it's so easily done, man. People look at what you're not doing and they'll be in the air talking all kind of BS, no matter what. Like, it's like the video I mentioned previously. There are times in marriage where you're not happy where you're at, or things have to get better, but it's not there yet. And you're gonna go through some things, and but that's not okay for this person to be in your ear talking about, nah, he's trash, you know, get rid of him. That's not for you to decide. Let her make her own decision. You know what I'm saying? And they start talking stuff, and a lot of people can't take that, and they usually conform. They usually give in, and that's part of peer pressure, even for adults. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, if they're not able to get what they're seeing other people are getting, it's tough to see. You see, You see this guy over here buying flowers for his girl, taking her out to dinner, and you're not getting that. And then you see your other friends, same thing, and you're not getting that. What do you think's gonna happen, man? They're gonna be in your ear. They're gonna talk you into finding somebody who can give you what they're getting. Because of course, it's all good when everybody's getting that treatment. You know what I'm saying? But you can't look at everybody's pockets. You can't look at what everybody's going through because everybody goes through different things in life and at different times, you know? So,
Do. And it's indirect and directly. They wait for something to happen to be like, girl, I told you, you thought that man was all of that. I told you he wasn't all of that. Here, come out with me. Or did you talk to so-and-so? So-and-so asked about you. It's like little snakes in tall grass.
Why do you think that's the case?
Women have, see, I don't want to get real spiritual about it, but it's a spiritual thing, right?
give us the tea. We need it because the truth is, like, women don't talk about this stuff enough. They don't talk about this stuff enough. And I'm sure there's women that don't even tell their man or their partner about what this person is saying, and they keep it to themselves because they know they're planning an exit strategy. And then what? You know what I'm saying? And the truth is, sometimes dude is a good dude, and as soon as you gone, he does his thing, levels up, and things get better. And even though, like, everybody can't live that soft life, it ain't for everybody. You know what I'm saying? People make it seem like it's just so easy to get out here and just, get a bag and just be able to splurge. Life gets hard, man. Right now in this times, you got inflation and it's kicking our butts. It's kicking our butts. But there's people who out there got it worse than you. We got to learn to understand that sometimes where we're at is just where we're at. And we got to learn to accept and be satisfied. I'm not saying don't level up. I'm just saying this is where you're at right now. I don't know how long it's going to take to get better, but this is where we at. Let's work with what we got. Don't destroy a relationship because he can't buy you flowers. You see that man out there working hard, trying to take care of his kids, trying to take care of you. And people do things, out of pure envy of others. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that.
This is that Eve and Jezebel spirit that's going around in these women. Eve is the reason we die today because she wanted to know as much as God did, right? So it's her fault. That's the same spirit that's going around right now. That Jezebel spirit of wanting a man to lust you. Women want what they can't have. And if you into me and she see you into me, she want that. And that's the way that some women are designed.
And is that the reason for their attraction to married men?
Yes. I want to see if I can take them. I don't mind being a side chick.
But what's the rationale? That's the thing I don't understand, though. And I'm glad to have you on here from a female perspective because if a man is married, right, there's a minimal chance of any long-term stable relationship. And there's a minimal chance that this man is going to leave his family for that person. So why do they put themselves in that situation?
It's the chase. It's the challenge. It's my stuff is so good, he going to leave eventually. I'm going to create this environment that makes him want to leave. I'm going to be everything that he wants me to be, that he's not getting at home, to make him leave. And the moment that you leave, she don't want you to, the challenge is over, right? But it's a battle. It's a battle of the woman. And I want what you have. And I'm woman enough and better than you that I could take them from you. And that's the mentality. Some of them say, I don't mind she got all the problems, I get the good stuff. That's lies. They want that man. But he just ain't leaving. And they will stay in that position for 20, 30 years and be crying in the back in the funeral when he died.
Can we talk about the importance of accepting constructive criticism and accountability for a sustainable and thriving relationship?
Okay. So I think that, and this is why they call me a pick me. I think that you guys do accept it. You have no choice because we always telling you what you do wrong, right?
Yeah, we always know what we do wrong, and very rarely do you hear when you got women who focus on that. A lot of times they feel like you're a man, you don't need no validation. You know what I'm saying? I'll say this, like, it's good to hear your wife tell you, yo, you did an awesome job, man. Like, um, I'm proud of you, and encourage you and talk you up. And listen, women don't realize like you can have the you can have the most I don't want to say simplest guy in the world, but a guy who just don't have any drive. And just because you talk or you feel him, you fulfill him through him being with you, like just encouraging him and just giving him that support that he needs. You can take that man and turn him into something that you didn't even foresee. You know, and a lot of women don't realize that. Like they don't feel like they need to, because men are strong. We don't need validation, and we don't need nobody to, because we not weak. You know what I'm saying? They look at us like we can't have bad times, bad days. We can't be down at any time. Like everything is just supposed to be perfect. Nah, it don't work like that. We go through stuff just like women do. We probably don't show it as much because that's how we was taught. Some of us do, like I do. I'm not going. Nah, if I'm going through whatever I'm going through, I'm gonna tell you. And if you can't support me, it'd be like, damn, it's sad. You know what I'm saying? It's sad. Let's continue.
Women, we have to learn to do that, right? But the reason that we don't know how to accept it is because people justify our actions. I don't care what we do. I don't care how ratchet we are. I don't care how many people we sleep around with. People will always justify our behavior for something that might have happened in the past. Her father wasn't there, so she's looking for love. This is why she's promiscuous. It's her right to walk out here and dress like a slut. Amber Rose started a slut walk just so that it can be justified to be a whore, right? So everything is justified for us. We can't handle it. Women can't handle the truth. We say we can, but we can't.
Yeah, a lot of women make excuses. I mean, make excuses for the things that they do, and they don't realize how sometimes um, it's affecting their partner. You know what I'm saying? Especially if he's trying to lead you and try to you know tell you be careful. Like it could be as simple as be careful while you're out there. Make sure you pay attention to what's going on, because we're naturally protectors. We want what's best for you. We don't want to see you get hurt, especially if you're part of our lives. Like that's automatic. Like why would we want to see you go out there and put yourself in situations that might bring you some type of harm or make you look a certain type of way that's not positive. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Some people just like to do what they want to do sometimes, like I said.
If you tell me that the reason our relationship is like in an uproar or something because of something that I did, that will make me feel as a woman inadequate. That'll make me have all of these other emotions. So I'm just gonna flip it, Jedi mind trick you, right? And it's you, because if you didn't say that, but when you said it, you was like, and I'm gonna find a reason.
Yeah, you're looking out for the person, your wife, and you're basically worried about them, and you're telling them how you feel, and then they're gonna tell you it's not always about you. Why you gotta always put yourself into it? The truth is, what might affect you also affects me. And if you can't see that, like, it's like, what? That's logical to me. Because I feel like what affects me should affect you. Especially if we're one. How can't you see that? You know what I'm saying? How does it become about me? And even if it does come up about me, if you're hurting, I'm hurting too. You know what I'm saying? If you next to me and you can't sleep, you think I can sleep in next to you knowing that you're going through something, and how can I be there sleeping and you're going through something? How can I look at you going through something and not ask, even if it might be obvious? Not what if I, like, just to ask, like, how are you? Are you okay? You know what I'm saying? It might be a dumb question because I know you're going through something, but I'm just asking because I want to hear it from you. You know what I'm saying? And if I can give you some type of encouragement and uplift you, that's what I'm gonna do. What's so hard about that? What's not logical about that?
And then if all else fail, I'ma cry, right? So you can leave me alone.
All right.
Ain't no accountability.
How did
Yep, and women do that a lot. They will cry. They will literally cry because they know what's that gonna do to you. It's gonna break you down, and then you're gonna feel bad, and then you're gonna want to, because I love you. But come on, man, that's not the way you work through issues. You know, that's not the way. That's not even. I mean, if you can do that, then you're just naturally, something's wrong with you. Something's wrong with you.
you grow to deal with constructive criticism in your own life from a man?
Because I was raised by a single mother, right? So I wanted that masculine male thing to kind of guide me. Like I yearned for that. Like I wanted a man to say, like, hey, as a woman, you should blah 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 blah. You know, ladies don't curse, or like I wanted those things. So I welcomed it. So if I did something that was wrong, the thing with me in all of my relationships, I am, whether it's my marriage or my friendships or whatever, I can tell you when I did something wrong, or I can accept it. You know what I'm saying? From my kids to anything. If I did something to you and you tell me that, let me think about it. I'll apologize for it, think about it, and then I'll come back and be like, yeah, I see what you were saying, this, that, and the third. So I just like peace and solution, right?
Yeah, I love her response to that. Like, I don't know, guys, have you ever had someone who almost never apologizes, and they think like everything that they do is right, everything that they say is right, or they have something to, what's the word, to basically make it sound so good, manipulate the whole situation to make it sound like it's nothing wrong with what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? They can't even hear you out. Like, I'm not saying that I'm right about stuff all the time. There's gonna be times I'm gonna be wrong. But sometimes just to hear me out, hear what I'm saying, think about it. You know what I'm saying? Think about it. At least. At least.
Like, I'm not all for all of that hooping and hollering and yelling and that disarray and that ghetto love where we fight today and now we go in there and we had this passionate, crazy love make. Like, I ain't about that. Like, I just like peace, you know? And so, and plus being a middle child, I was told a lot of stuff growing up, right? So I wasn't the oldest, I wasn't the youngest, I was right in the middle. So I kind of was, everything was like, you did this or you did that or fix this better, do this. So I was kind of groomed to be able to receive information from people. But when I know that you love me and you have good intentions for me, I can receive that.
My brother said something. He was a guest on the show, Dr. J. Paul Hines. He was saying that everyone doesn't necessarily need a father, but they need fathering, and they yearn for fathering. But he was saying in the context of boys, and you're saying the same thing in the context of girls.
Yeah.
Now, because they want that male energy, I know it can go in negative ways, but do you think some people just cut it off because they don't have it and go to the extreme side? Is that the reason where this, I don't need any man, or I won't interact with any man because they didn't get it and they just kind of like get turned off to it on the whole?
It could be not only that they didn't get it, but it could also be that when they had a bad experience with it as well, right? I do not want to paint the picture that if fathers were there that everybody's life would be good, right? Because there are some no good fathers, right? There's fathers that do things to their daughters, to their sons, and all kind of stuff. It's not that. It could be rejection. It could just be, I don't want to be rejected, so I just act like I don't want it, but deep down I do. Everybody needs that. It's a balance. You have to have femininity and nurturing from your mom, and then you need to have that masculine, safe, secure, directive from your dad, or like you said, a male figure that means you well. You know, we all need that.
Yeah, a lot of times, man, women are quick to say, to tell you, like, I don't need you, or why you still here? You know what I'm saying? What's the other comment I've heard before? Yeah, like, why you still here? If you don't want to be with me, and a lot of times it's not that he don't want to be with you. He's just tired of being disrespected. You know what I'm saying? He's just tired of the BS. You know, men do not want to deal with the toxic shit. You know, especially some of these girls who talk about they got male friends and their male friend they don't want them, and next thing you know they've slept with their male friend, and man, not every guy can deal with that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no guy really want to deal with it, honestly, because I can guarantee you, you take a survey, guys gonna be like, hell nah. You know what I'm saying?
That's where the balance comes in at. If you look at how this generation is versus kids, I was watching this movie, this old movie. It was from the 80s. And I had said to my mom, I was like, look how these kids look in this movie, and they're teenagers, and it's like a sense of innocence there, right? There's no innocence here anymore, right? And that's the importance of having that balance. Because with mom, if mom got to work all the time, kids are left to their own devices, right? So you're learning from TV, music, whatever, your friends, the internet is crazy now, you know, so there's really no balance anymore. So a lot of them feel like, I just don't want it, but they really do. You need it.
What advice would you give to women so they can better take in constructive criticism? I want to be clear, constructive criticism. Healthy constructive criticism from the heart.
Dealing with black women, they gonna think it's an attack, but they just have to understand that if it's coming from somebody that loves you, or you know has some endearment for you, it's not to hurt you. It's to make you better. And people can help you be a better version of you. And that's the thing. They have to get out of their mind that people are trying to change them or control them, or you just saying that because you want me to be this kind of way. No, I do, right? For the betterment of us, not because I want to manipulate you or make you a puppet. So they just have
Facts. Oh my God. Why is it so difficult? Like, why is it so difficult for these women to get it? You know what I'm saying? Because all they see is the negative stuff. You know what I'm saying? And that's what they love. They love that toxic stuff. You know, they don't even try to understand. They don't. They call you negative on the other hand. Like, what? This thing is logical. You know what I'm saying? Just like you wouldn't want me talking to another chick that's an ex. You know what I'm saying? You won't want me keeping her around. Nah. But you'll do it. It's okay for you. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's not logical about that? It's because you want what you want. And you don't want nobody to tell you nothing. All right, I get it.
Understand that we are not perfect, right? So people are gonna have some pointers on where we could brush up. When you go to work and your boss tell you you don't do something right, you don't get mad and curse him out. Why would you come home and do that to your man? So give him that same respect and understanding. And so just, your man is not your enemy. And if you can't take constructive criticism from him, then why lay up with him? Why be married to him? Why have kids with him? Why do all of those things? If you don't want to listen to some of the things that he suggests.
I want to talk about the need for black.
Yeah, like for real. Why did you marry him if you don't want to listen to him? Like, I'm sure you've been with him for a while. Did you ever like pay attention to the things that he say, what he stands on, what he believes? Did you even have that conversation, like, or just you just expected everything to go your way and you do what you want? Like, how? How? I guess you can walk over him, so he'll do what you want, and a lot of women like that, I guess, right? You guys like a guy that you can walk over, but when he gets pissed off, then react to the stupid shit you do. Pardon my French. That's an issue. You know what I'm saying? That's an issue.
Black men to get empathy to grow and heal.
That's we kind of touched on that earlier on. What's a safe space for you? Like, who created a safe space for you to sit down and break down and cry and say, this is too much? Where can you do that at? And I'm asking you that question.
Me personally, I'm in a unique, fortunate state. I know that I really have a strong group of friends. I have like 3 friends where we can really speak about anything. Mm-hmm. So I'm fortunate, and my wife. So I'm very fortunate to have that. But I know
your wife creates a space for you to do that.
Yeah, we definitely have a.
That's where all men need that. So that's the answer to that question. Is if we are in a marriage, there should be a time when you are able to look me in my eyes and say, baby, like, this is too much for me right now. And you should be able to cry if need be without me using that against you or it turning me off like, he weak. Don't cry. Be a man. Men don't cry, but y'all are groomed that. Boys don't cry. Shut up. You a boy. Why you doing that? Why you this? Boys don't. So y'all are limited from the time that you little. Don't do that. Only girls do that. I'm guilty of that, of saying that stuff. You know what I'm saying? So you grow up with this place of, I'm going to just have to figure it out. I can't tell anybody what I'm feeling, because if boys don't do that, men definitely don't do that. I need to be a man at all times. And being a man at all times means suppressing my emotions because I got a family.
You know, it's wild. I didn't know how broken men were till I became a man. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if I have tell me your life story on my forehead, but people just start telling me their life story, right? When they get comfortable. And a lot of men, regardless of culture, economic status, or education, they're going through the same thing. And once I learned that as an adult, I reflected on my childhood in regards to people's behavior. And it's like, and me and my friends speak about it, bro never had an outlet. Like, they don't work out. They didn't have any hobbies. They couldn't speak to their spouse. They really didn't have a friend. So it's like, No wonder they were behaving like that because they bundling up all this frustration every day, and it comes out
Yeah.
at different times.
And sometimes it comes out in violence, sometimes it comes out in drinking, sometimes it comes out in drugs, sometimes, I mean, it could come out.
Whoring.
Yeah, in a number of ways that it can come out. You know what I'm saying? And it's sad because, like I said, women have outlets where we can go ahead and express, and it's welcomed. It's like, come, tell me what you feel, tell me all of this. Not y'all. And
And that's so true. I'm not going, lie. I have friends that I talk to, and they also talk to me, and a lot of times, they can't share what they're feeling with their wife, and even if they do, sometimes the wives don't even acknowledge what they're saying. They brush it off. They they don't they don't they're not receptive. They don't receive it, and that's why a lot of men walk away. That's why a lot of men walk away. But when they walk away, they become deadbeats. They become all kind of things. You know what I'm saying? And it's hard to walk away when you know you got kids. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure a lot of people, guys, battle with walking away because they're not getting the release, that emotional release. They're not able to talk to their partner and express what they're feeling at all. And I've been there. I ain't gonna lie, it's hard, and it's I know it's hard to do it as a man, and I know some women don't really understand. They don't know what it's like. They probably hadn't had a father, don't know what he's experiencing. So a lot of times when you don't see certain things growing up, you don't really know what to look for when you become an adult. And that goes for both male and female. So, but it's all about being aware and trying to look at your life, examining your life and the things that you're feeling. And as I get older, man, I start seeing things. I still see things that I'm shocked. I'm like, wow, why didn't I see this before? Why didn't I understand this before? And it's like, I mean, sometimes it takes time. Like everybody's different. We have different experiences at different times. But you know, I don't like, I know I don't want to tell people walk away, but it depends on your situation, and you know, sometimes you think about doing it. And I can't blame you because I feel like it's a form of abuse. It may not be direct, but you're hurting, and people die from that stuff, man. That's stressful. You know, people die young from stress, heart attack, and people don't think about that stuff until it happens. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, let's continue. We've been going for a while, but we'll be done soon.
and it's only so much a person can take before they snap, right? So when y'all get mean or antsy, or if you do have an outlet, let's say you just want to play your game. You that nigga sitting on the couch playing the game. Right? Like, never mind you went out to work, but you just want quiet time. You don't want to talk to nobody. Like, keep the kids away from me. You just go in there, let me just sit here and do this. You're not even allowed to do that because it's all me, 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 me. Let me tell you about my day. This is what my boss said. That lady at the job trying to kill me. They want to take my... We just want to just lay all our stuff on you, but don't want to relieve you of your stuff. I have been guilty of that in the past as well. So I'm not speaking on something like I'm a saint. That was a learned behavior where it's like you got to look at your man and be like, he off. What's wrong, boo? Even if you don't, sometimes he don't want you to give him an answer. He just wants you to listen and know that he's not going to be judged in that moment. Now, if you ask me what I think, then I'll tell you. Otherwise, I'm going to just sit there and listen and rub your head.
A lot of women don't do that, man. They don't even know when anything's wrong with you because they don't communicate with you enough to even recognize when you're going through stuff. And sometimes they're so focused on what they're going through that they don't see you. They don't see something's wrong with him. Like, I felt it, man. I've experienced it before in my life. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking from pure experience. You know what I'm saying? And that's it. That is hard to deal with. You know what I'm saying? You feel like you don't they don't your partner don't care about you because they can't even see you. All the while you're always checking up on them. You know what I'm saying? Like you're always trying to make sure they're good. Do they check on you? I mean, what do you do in that case? I don't know, man. You know, people talk about men who don't look for help but there's a lot of women that don't feel like they need help. You know what I'm saying? They don't feel like there's anything wrong with them because they're perfect. Like they're perfect. They don't do nothing wrong. They've been in relationships so they know what it takes. They know the stuff they don't need to do and they know what to do and what to expect in relationships. Like they don't make mistakes. But you do something wrong, trust me, they'll be on you.
When did you learn that? When did it click for you?
When my man told me that's what he needed. I attitude, I ain't know. I'm like, oh, okay, I can do that. See, because the one thing about men is y'all say what y'all need. Y'all do.
Definitely.
Y'all say what y'all need. It's us
Most
that'll
definitely.
just walk around like, and you supposed to read our mind, know why our lips is poked out, know what you did 3 days ago, why we still mad today, you should have knew what you did. Y'all tell us what y'all need. Now, whether we listen or not, it's something totally different.
Right.
Cause you do, cause y'all would be like, look, I'm tired of eating out. That mean cook, right? But then it's like, well, I done worked all day. I'm not doing that, whatever. And then she come with some McDonald's or some Popeyes or something, and then wonder why you going to the chick house who cook for you. Y'all say what y'all need. You know what I'm saying? We just don't listen because it doesn't have anything to do with us.
Facts. Oh my God, this chick. Oh man. Oh man, where's she been all this time, man? I don't know, man. You don't get much women who think like this, and this is what we need. Women like this who can tell these women, because when we tell them, it goes through one ear and come out the next, man. You know, this chick, she's on point. She's on point with everything she said. On point.
What's your thoughts on this? I hear this a lot. Women who work, right? They have an issue with cooking. What's that about? Like,
I don't know. Because I cook when I get home from work.
yeah.
And he be in there. And then he be like, what you putting together? Give me a second. And I'll cook.
But what's that about? Were you exposed to it? Like, what's up with this generation and cooking? Because I hear from a lot of brothers complain about the cooking.
Because they don't know how to. Their mothers ain't teach them.
So it's a vibe where they just don't know how to cook or they don't want to cook.
They don't know how to and they don't want to learn. Their mothers didn't teach them. I told you earlier on, we do not teach our daughters how to be wives. And
Right.
part of being a wife and taking care of home is cooking. You know, they want to go out to eat, but you can't take them to Applebee's or no.
And sometimes it's not only cooking. You might have a wife that cooks, but there's something else that she does that's not in alignment with what should be going on in a marriage or a relationship. You know what I'm saying? So, cooking is one area, but there's a lot of areas in marriage that may not be taken care of. In people, there's different issues. Depending on what they had as a kid, it might be something else. Where, you know what I'm saying? Where, that respect. If you don't get that, if you saw your parents not respect each other, then you come out and in your relationship, and you don't respect your husband because that's what you've seen in the past. You know what I'm saying? But in this case, they're talking about marriage. I mean, cooking, and instead of, like I say, it all comes back to awareness. If you can look within yourself and see the things that you're lacking, or see that you're not perfect, then there's room to work. But if you come into the marriage thinking you're perfect and you got it all down, then it's gonna be a long, long, long journey. Like, it's gonna be a lot of work that has to be done, and especially with women who have kids and been experienced in life. They think they've experienced everything possibly there's there to experience. You know what I'm saying? So
places like that, but they just want to go out to eat. They don't know how to cook. Big Mama is not here no more. I learned how to cook by watching my grandmother. Being in there, breaking the green beans, cutting up the potatoes for the potato salad. Then she let you do a little bit more, and then a little bit more, and then now you make in charge of that dish. I learned how to do that from that. You know, where's Big Mama's at? She at the club. I'm a grandmother, right? So the big mamas are different now, right? So they not in them house dresses no more doing that. It's like, we want to be our kids' friends. We want to be cool. We living vicariously through our daughters because they have access to things that we didn't have access to. So now I want to manipulate her and make her a mini me to do all of these things. You know what I'm saying? And cooking ain't one of them, because you want to snatch you up a man because you want the internet now. And go ahead and take a picture in that bikini so that NFL or NBA player can get in your DM. You want to set us up for life. Like, it's a mentality. It's a whole mentality to this thing. You know, and I created traditional values for my family. And when I say my family, my household and my children, I created that for them. You know, because God is not in a lot of this stuff either. Let's not like go over that point. We're in the situation that we're in because God is not nowhere near in none of this. You know, so, but I'm not gonna go there. But I'm gonna just leave it right here.
all right, now that we've that you know gotten through the video, that was a long video, but we're gonna break it up. But we're gonna go ahead and take a look at some of the comments and stuff right now. Instructor Mike, I forgot, I ain't been calling their names out, but you can see it for yourself. It's he says, if you make your wife your safe space for you to vent, don't be surprised when she's done with you and you're going through a divorce. All those things that you told her under the influence of emotion in secret, they get used against you. You better not. I will not vent to someone like that. That is a bad recipe for disaster. Wow. Ew. He sounds like he's talking from experience, and I most definitely would not want to experience that, but it's a part of life. And if you can't be with someone who can't listen to you, if you with someone who can't listen to you, man, it'll destroy you. You know what I'm saying? It'll most definitely destroy you. And if you don't have an outlet to where you can talk to someone, what do you do in that case? You're gonna basically talk to anybody you can find. We need more black women like this queen, most definitely. I feel her as a brown mama with a 5 with 2 boys and my husband. I try to understand and have compassion for the other sex, the opposite sex. My bad. I'm going to try one more. She's a very positive woman, regardless of what she said. I got mad respect for you, Sister Shalom. Yeah.